Hi guys, in this video I'm going to walk you through this next assignment on clipping masks. As you may notice from the previous assignments, I'm explaining you the technique, asking you to do a practice, and then giving you the opportunity to create your own things, okay? Photoshop is wide. The possibilities of the things you can do with it are endless. So instead of limiting your creativity, what I will be doing is that showing you the technique, but also giving you the opportunity to do your own things, to be creative and to experiment more, okay? Another thing that you need to understand and to know and to remember every single activity that you do is that this new content doesn't mean that you need to forget what you already know. So if on a new assignment, for example, I ask you to remove the background, please continue using the refinement options, okay? Just because they are not mentioned as part of the assignment or the work, it doesn't mean that you should stop using those, okay? The knowledge here in Photoshop is progressive, so we need to continue applying that into our future work, okay? So let's get started. I already have my document here. You can find the settings and the specifications in my site, okay? And also, I already placed the textures and the Albert Einstein photo and the quote as well, okay? So what we are going to do is very simple. If you remember from last lesson, we placed a couple of shapes and we created clipping masks, right? So today we are going to do exactly the same, but now we are also going to use brushes, okay? So the first thing that I'm going to do, I will reveal the Albert Einstein picture. I will leave it in there. And then I will open also or appear my, my quote. Now, let me hide this one. Let me show you another way to create a selection. As you can see, all this space here, let me change the color of the background a little bit so you understand better what I'm saying. This is a JPEG, okay? And I created this on purpose because I want to show you a way to do a selection without having to use any of the selection tools we've seen so far. For example, if you want to remove the background from this image, as you can see, we have a lot of spaces here. So doing that with the selection tools or the technique we've learned, it's going to take us forever. So here's another way. If we go to the menu select, you can see that you have a lot of shortcuts that we've used, okay? Like deselect, inverted selection, select and mask. But there's one option here called color range. So by the name, we can understand that this option or this technique will select the sampled colors. So for example, if I click here in the red color, as you can see, all the parts that are red are selected. If I click in the white color, then all the parts that are white, of course, will be selected. So how does this work? You have that eyedropper so you can sample the colors. Since I will be masking or removing the white part from this image, then I'm going to click on the white part. The fuzziness refers to how much of that color do I want my image to sample. I am going to leave it in 200 because I want all those tiny spaces to be completely filled, okay, or selected. And then I will click OK. The next step, I'm going to rasterize the layer and I will delete the background. So as you can see, that was super fast and really fast. I was able to remove the background, right? So that's a new technique that you are learning, to sample the colors, okay, from the color range option to remove them. Why did I not mask this? Because I'm going to be applying clipping masks and a layer mask will interfere with the process. So after that, let me change the color of my background again to white. There we go. Now I am going to bring all my layers, the colored layers that I left also for you, and I resized them a little bit so they could like fit in the place that I'm going to create the clipping mask. You can reduce the opacity to see the parts of the image that you will be, like that texture will be covering, okay? You can use the keys on your keyboard to align those things better as well. If you don't press shift, you will get this type of transforming. But remember, if you press shift, you are freely allowed to transform your images, okay? So you will continue doing the same with all the textures. Let me change the orange. I think it goes there. Let me bring back the opacity to 100. This one is okay like that. And finally, the blue texture. I'm in the wrong layer. The blue texture. Yes, I think it covers everything. So all my layers are in place. Now what I'll be doing is creating clipping masks. So the texture should be on top of the quote. I'm going to do right click and then create clipping mask. So that space gets the texture. And I can do the same with the other textures, okay? Because if I apply clipping masks to this, they will be having the next normal layer. They will be masking the next normal layer. So I am creating clipping masks, and without effort and like with little time, I created a cool effect for my quote, okay? I can even select everything and align it a little bit more because I think it wasn't centered. Very good. So that was very simple. Now, with the image, I am going to do the same, okay? Let me hide all of this so I can focus now on him. Okay, so now I am going to add another layer, and I'm going to use my brush with different colors to paint on top of him. Because I'm going to, if you saw the example, it has like a colorful, like a rainbow style colors on top, okay? So I will be choosing a couple colors. I will start with pink, a bright pink. I will change the size of my brush, and let me change the hardness because I want them to blend better. And I will continue doing so with all my colors. You don't have to use the same colors that I used, okay? So now that I have all my colors, it doesn't even matter that they covered or that they look weird. It doesn't matter. Now I am going to create a clipping mask, okay? And I will lower the opacity a little bit. Don't worry if it looks weird, we're going to fix that in a second. And on the layer mask, the Albert Einstein mask, I am going to add a layer mask. But I will fill it with black, okay? So let me take my paint bucket, I will fill it with black. Now, in this layer, I completely hid the image, right, with black. So now with white and some brushes, I am going to start revealing him, okay? But I don't want that to look very weird. What I want is to spice it a little bit more with some brushes. So for now, we've only used the general brushes, right? Like the hard brown brushes, the soft brown brushes, and that's it. But we have more in here. We have the dry media brushes, the wet media brushes, and the special effects brushes. So in the dry media brushes, as you can see, we have several others. You need to notice that you will see a little icon next to the brush. If you see a brush, it means that you can use it. But if you see something different, it means that this type of brush only works with the eraser. Over here, we have the smudge tool. So this brush can only work with those specific tools. So you need to identify them, because in order for them to work on this layer mask, they should have the brush icon, okay? So let's start with the dry media brushes, for example. I will click here in this chunky charcoal and increase the size. and I can start painting over him. So I can have another effect there on the edges, okay? You can play with the size, so you can start revealing parts of him, and we can combine these brushes. So, for example, here in, let me go to the special effect brushes, the spatter brushes, I can start adding some like splatter stuff here, okay? So the edges don't look that hard. So I can start adding more of that splatter. If you don't want this to look super hard, you can switch back the colors to start hiding parts of him, okay? And then let me go back to the white. We have some others over here like this other brushes, so I can start adding more of those things, okay? And we can also play with opacity, of course. So if I decrease the opacity, I can still add some effects, okay? But they won't be as hard as the others. And if you reduce the size, you can have also different effects, okay? And again, if you don't like how it's looking, we can always go back and undo with a special one of these brushes or with another brush, okay, of your leg. So this is like the final result is up to you, okay? I can hide that part, I can bring it back again. The final result is up to you. And if you also feel like the effect, the rainbow effect is too bright, you can always lower the opacity more. And that will be it, okay? This is how you are going to do this poster, by applying clipping masks and creating this kind of like grunge effect in the Einstein picture.